In a herd this large, one sick animal changes everything. And the threat doesn't need claws.
Before we even see the buffalo, dozens of blood-feeding ticks are already crowded deep inside one ear.
Move only a few centimeters, and another colony appears, then another, packed into folds the buffalo cannot reach. Around the eyes, a second invasion never settles. Biting flies rise, circle, and land again almost immediately.
Hundreds of kilograms of muscle, carrying an entire hidden population on its skin.
He snaps both ears and throws the flies into the air, but the attached ticks barely loosen their grip.
Along the neck, separate parasite hotspots form islands of feeding activity across the thick, folded hide. At the shoulder, the colony is still expanding as smaller ticks crawl outward, searching for fresh attachment points.
Under the belly, softer skin offers another protected feeding zone almost impossible for the buffalo to groom precisely. His tail clears the air for seconds, while the dense colony underneath remains almost completely untouched. One buffalo now carries multiple battlefields, each separated by only a short stretch of apparently healthy skin. And while some parasites are already feeding, others are still moving across the hide, looking for somewhere new. The buffalo presses hard against rough bark, using the tree to scrape places his own body cannot reach. The exposed parasites take the hit, but deep inside the ear fold, the heaviest colony remains almost unchanged. Mud becomes the next defense, spreading across the skin and temporarily driving much of the flying swarm away. But when the mud begins to dry, the flies return, and the deeply attached parasites were waiting underneath all along. For another animal, the buffalo's problem looks very different. It looks like breakfast spread across an enormous body. The first oxpecker lands on the shoulder and immediately heads toward the densest folds of skin. A quick pull removes one swollen tick, and the bird swallows it before beginning the search again. One bird becomes 3, and each immediately chooses a different section of the buffalo's parasite-covered body. 3 becomes 6, spreading the search from the shoulders toward the back, neck, and heavily infested ears. Then the rest arrive, turning one buffalo into a moving feeding station covered by a dozen active cleaners. Within moments, the giant is carrying an entire flock, each bird searching for its own patch of food. One bird finds the richest hotspot behind the ear, and its movements immediately attract several competitors. 5 birds crowd into one small patch, jostling for access, while dozens of ticks remain packed beneath them. From this close, the scale becomes clear. Not 1 or 2 parasites, but an entire colony being stripped away. Small ticks disappear quickly, allowing the cleaners to work through the outer edge of the infestation at remarkable speed. But the largest blood-fed ticks are anchored deeper, and the first pull is sometimes not enough. The bird releases, changes its angle, and grips closer to the attachment point before trying again. The parasite finally comes free, but the empty space is occupied by another searching bird almost immediately. One violent headshake sends birds and flies exploding outward, briefly clearing the buffalo's head. The silence lasts seconds. The birds return to exactly the same areas because the food is still there. The buffalo starts walking, and the entire feeding station moves with him without closing for business. But parasites are not the only food this giant creates. Every heavy step disturbs insects hidden below. Cattle egrets move in below, using the buffalo's feet to flush insects from the grass into the open. Soon another flock surrounds the legs, catching prey exposed by every step of the enormous animal. Now the buffalo carries one feeding community above, while another hunts in the grass directly below. Birds above, birds below, flies in the air, and ticks on the skin, all centered on one moving giant. Then one cleaner ignores several ticks and notices a long, shallow scratch already sealed with dried blood. The bird pecks at the dried edge, and the buffalo's skin immediately ripples beneath its feet. This time the host objects, shaking the bird away, while other cleaners continue feeding peacefully nearby. The same cleaner can reduce parasites in one place while pushing the partnership too far somewhere else.
The worst ear colony is visibly thinner now, though the deepest folds are still far from completely clean.
And before one battlefield is finished, another dense colony waits at the opposite end of the buffalo. To us, he is one buffalo. To the animals around him, he is food, shelter, and opportunity in motion. Next, Hippo Khan, 2 cleaning armies. See you in the next episode.